Hey, it is Friday and the date is November. November? Where the heck did I get that from? What camera are we running? This one. Where did I get the word November? Out of what? I'm not going to advertise for Coke. I shouldn't have gotten this glass. Who's the dummy in the room? Okay, here we go. Let's see what we've got going. We are here. We got Woody. Woody's the first one in tonight. I'm surprised. Surprise, surprise, surprise. How you doing, Woody? What do you got planned to shoot tomorrow? What is your shoot for tomorrow? And the D500 still running well? Do you have your eyes on anything? You don't really need to update, do you? I didn't think so. But we are guys, and what do they call it? Boys and their toys? I like my toys. So it is fun. What did I title tonight? Why are cameras important? Why are cameras important? It almost sounds like we're doing a Carlos show here. Why are cameras important? Gregory, how you doing, buddy? That was my dad's name before he left to go to heaven. I think 10, maybe 11, 12 years ago. I'm putting my earbuds in because if anybody joins me in tonight, I'll have to switch over to listening to the earbuds because what happens is you get feedback. So, why are cameras important in 2025? Why were cameras important in 2010? That's 15 years ago, right? I'm fidgeting with the earphones. Earbuds, they're not earphones. Messed up my hair. So, that's the Canon. Hi, Peter Petite. Hi, Petite. Well, I am 5'2", but I wouldn't call me petite. I'd call me pleasantly plump. Oh, I went to get my physical today. I always get nervous when I go to those things, and I know they're not going to do anything. They did take blood, and she had a hard time getting blood out of the vein. Which vein was it? It was my left arm. I guess I don't have enough blood because they took 3 vials of blood, and on the 3rd vial, it started to not run. And she goes, I don't know what's going on here. So this is the A7c II. When I say that, I mean that's the camera that we're running. No, that's the camera I'm holding. What camera are we running? We are running a Lumix. This is a Lumix S5 Mark II with a 50 millimeter 1.8 lens. And I took the ZV-E1 down. Well, that's a story in itself. So we'll get that going. So Gregory says, Peter, I mean, yeah, I know that. A little typo. I do typos all the time. And if it wasn't bad enough, Apple makes typos out of words that I didn't mean to say. And sometimes they can be embarrassing, to be honest with you. So we're here together on a Friday night. Everything looks like it is running okay. You want to go through the cameras manually? So this is the Lumix. I look kind of small there, don't I? Let's see. I think I need to. There you go. We should kind of centerize it. It's almost like I'm professional, you know? You know what I mean, Jellybean? So then we have this guy right here, the Canon R6 Mark II. R6 Mother 2, R6 something. And this one is not zoomed out. So this is the full thing on here. And after that, we've got the old and venerable, but it's not old. This is the newest model. So this is the Nikon Z6 Mark III. Did I move the chair? Why is everything like not centered anymore? Okay, whatever. It is what it is. Sly would say, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay. All right, so now we are on here. Now, is it my imagination or do we have more information at the bottom of the screen? Oh, it's my imagination. Okay, it's because I actually have Chrome open. That looks better. And then we have my mail opened, which I need to close. Now we're all blue. Blue, 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 blue. Oh, Sly's here. How you doing, Sly? Howdy in my best mini pearl voice. Howdy. Hey, Peter and gang. Hope everything and everyone is well. I guess I really ought to turn on where people can come in. Turn that on. There we go. Okay. Now, if anybody comes in, like Sly, Carlos, Randy, Jim Monday, Hal, whoever else likes to come in, I turned it on. Now, the big question is, somebody needs to look and see if I've got it in the description where you can log in. I guess Sly would be able to tell. All right, back to what I started to talk about. I don't know why that popped in my head. Why are cameras important? And it almost sounds kind of like a Carlos Bokeh Bashudo type of a topic, because I would say cameras are important because cameras fall into the category of hobby. You can be a hobby. Now, what is BC2? So I guess I might as well look myself. Where is my shoe? It's around here somewhere. All right, I see my show. And how do I see? I want to see. What I'm looking for is I want to see what's in the description, because that's where the thing for people to log in. But I guess as we go on, we'll find out. So if nobody ever winds up logging on, then I'll know it's not in there properly. Sly, if you could look in the description and see if the thing registers. No, that's yours. I'm looking at Sly's show here. Okay. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? Good to see you. Yes, the link is in the description. Does it end in the number 2? It looks like BC2. And if it is, then we're good to go. So there we go. So you're invited. Anyone's invited. I can put you in the green room and then we can have a conversation. So back on topic. What's wrong with the topic? Oh, we're talking about why cameras are important. Well, we can make a list, but the overall thing is cameras, the biggest attribute that we can give to a camera is that they are an extension of our creativity. And coupled or combined with that, I would have to say they also are a means of recording or making memories for us to keep in our future. And of course, that goes beyond our future. I went for a physical today and they took blood out of this arm right in this spot. It was an ouch spot. And this nurse was not as good. Sometimes the nurse will put the needle in and you feel nothing. Okay, what's the name of that cereal? Nut and Honey? Okay. And today's nurse was not that nurse. Okay. So apparently that nurse was on vacation. And, oh, Ashley, say hi to your boyfriend. Say hi to your boyfriend. And his name is Alex. So you guys, we're like a big happy family. Everybody knows each other in here. So I think I don't think I can attribute one single item to the importance of cameras, but I think I can attribute two top priorities to the importance of cameras. And I think the top priorities are not the only ones. We could probably make a list of 10 or 12 things, okay? But the two top ones would be that they actually make a record of uh, things that go on in our life for our lifetime, so we can go back and look at pictures that we took before the year 2000, before some of you were born. So Ashley says that Alex is sleeping. He just got done with a big final today. Should have let me know. I would have prayed with him about that final. I have a friend named Dyson, and he had a big game. He's a coach for a lot of 14, 15-year-old boys. And I want to say that the team is a lacrosse team. So he did call me. He says, I want you to pray because we're having a big game and it's in the finals. And I said, sure, that's what I do. Okay, besides eat, I love to pray with people. So we prayed, and guess what? They went into overtime and they won in overtime. Wow, does God come through or what? None of us could take that credit. That credit comes and goes to the Lord. So now the bad thing with being on earth is we're under the curse, okay? Because Adam and Eve, God created Adam and Eve. You remember that story? It's in the Bible. You don't remember that story? Do you want me to tell it to you? Sly is rolling her eyes. Oh, no. There he goes. Oh, no. There he goes. Okay. So life is so simple. I mean, people beat their heads. What is the meaning of life? Okay. And that's where cameras do come in a little bit, because they actually will record our lives, and they will record our lives for us and our friends and other family members and possibly even enemies. Okay. So the two top priorities, in my opinion, for Canon cameras, that was a Freudian slip. Okay, so the two top priorities for cameras. Okay, and then we'll go into the minor points. So these are the major points, and then we got the supporting cast, right? We have the starring roles. The Peter Gregg show starring. Da 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 da. Okay, anyway. Would be that number one, cameras record our lives. So you could alternate the words on there and say they are making memories. But we can go back to any point in our time, and it's because of a camera. And the camera can shoot pictures, which was more prevalent 15, 20 years ago. And now they not only shoot pictures, but even overtaking the picture mode of a camera would be the video mode. So I can actually go and look at a video that I did. Actually, it's ironic. I was just looking at a video of Father's Day with my dad. And this has got to be 10, maybe 15 years ago. And I still remember taking that video. That's how fresh it seems. Sitting at the dining room table, and Dad was there, and I'm thinking, like, Dad's, starting to look old, and I should be recording this stuff. So I picked up my camera, and he was opening Father's Day presents, and was it Father's Day or birthday? One of those two. And then from there, that video is still in my computer. Well, we could say computers are important too, because they would become the backup to saving this stuff that we are making memories with. So making memories would be co-equal with 2 stars in this movie as to what the stars uh, are in the movie of the life of cameras. So making memories is one of them. And the other, which is equal to, we could say greater than or equal to if we were in math class, but we are not in math class. Okay. So, and that would be a creative outlet. We need a creative outlet, and its cameras actually fits in that role beautifully. A camera will fit in the role of a creative outlet, and you could equal to, you know how the Bible, for you guys that read the Bible, sometimes there's an asterisk and it would mean an alternative meaning or another meaning of a certain word. So another meaning for that creative outlet would be just expression. But there's other ways, like hobbies is one of the things that was, or is a way to let off steam. But that's what a lot of people would say. But I think hobby is a good way for you to express yourself creatively. Like Woody just made a comment. My mother was born on Mother's Day. I can't put it up there. My mother was born on Mother's Day, and it lines up again this year. Oh, it lines up again in this year on 5/11. So today is 9, 10, 11. So Sunday would be Mother's Day. So if you have a mother or any other person that's like a mother, could even be a male, but a mother figure in a person's life, you can wish them a happy Mother's Day on Sunday. And not only is Sunday Mother's Day, but it's also Sly's birthday, same day, which means that revolves, like Woody just said. Mother's Day is on a day, okay, which means that the date can change. So the job for you, young and old alike, is to do something very special for your mother for Mother's Day on Sunday. Could be as simple as a hug, or a nice present. I'm a guy that likes to do presents, so I always try to outdo myself and get my mother something grand and big, and breakfast, and go to a restaurant, and a main present of the day, and Mother's Day becomes very important. And women like Mother's Day. Fathers like Father's Day too, but it's not. It's harder to, unless you're a girl, it's harder to associate with, a man that way. But that's what the father is supposed to be doing. The father is supposed to be in your life, supposed to be showing you how to deal with other males in your life, because you deal with males differently than you deal with females. Females automatically get free passes on many things, where males don't get free passes. Okay, I'm one of the unusual males because I will say love you, and I can't take credit for that. My little nephews and nieces, and when they were tiny and we were on the phone or we were leaving, it was always, okay, love you, see you later. And now I'm 71 years old and I still do that. And sometimes I do it in a place where it doesn't belong, and it can be embarrassing as hell. Okay. And I have, I've done a phone conversation and say, love you. I've been on technical support. Okay. And the person is, supporting me with something and this and this. Okay. And then they'll always ask, is there any other questions that we can help you with? Do you have any other questions today? And I'll say, nope, I'm pretty much done. I think we can end this phone call. Love you. Have a good day. And many times I'll get, oh, okay, you have a good day too. I don't think tech support hears love you very often. Okay. So that's why I'm glad there is a Father's Day, because we can learn to express love for a male, and hopefully a father will teach us how to express love for a male. Where a mother is just, you just love her. I mean, she could be the worst mother in the world, and eventually you'll wind up remembering that you love her because for some reason, society trains us, uh, siblings trains us, just life trains us. Mothers are someone very, very important. So this Sunday is Mother's Day. Now, how about if we tie all that together? Bring your camera to your Mother's Day event, right? Why should you have a Mother's Day event and your camera is sitting in your bedroom or your office or wherever you got it? So the two top priorities for cameras are recording the memorable times of your life, and the other one is it's a top creative outlet for us. So I see Jeff just came in. Came in. That's not good English. But wait, we got people coming in here, and I'm not even. I left off with Woody. His mother was born on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to your mom. And Sammy, Bo, Sammy, how you doing, buddy? I love you. See, for me, I've done it so much now. There's no pain. Now, there's some people that just can't say love you or I love you because they haven't practiced that. And mothers are one of the most important people that teach us how to be loving, with everybody. And fathers are the ones that teach us how. But what if you don't have a father? If you don't have a father, many times a mother will take on the role of a mother and a father. Oh, Sly is sitting here. I should bring her in. Hi, Sly. Sorry about that. I got to move to the correct camera in order to bring her in because on my preset cameras, it don't work, Charlie. Now let's find where my camera is. Copy of my camera. Here we go. All right, so now I can add Sly. There she is. Okay. So if you can hear me, Sly, you're in the room with me. Happy Mother's Day, Sly. And
Thank you.
Happy birthday for Sunday.
Yes.
Happy
Comes around once a
birthday.
year.
Oh, I thought yours came around twice a year.
Might celebrate it twice a year, but
Wait. Why are you wearing a Winnie the Pooh t-shirt? What is up with that? Hello, Charlie.
I I have had little man duty for the last couple of days,
Well,
which
you
is why
want
I
to
don't
know
go live on
something?
Friday.
I we have a room in this house that's called Pooh's room.
Yes.
Okay. Now Sly has been here, so she knows I'm not lying. And that's where my mother used to keep when the kids were kids. Now they're in their 30s. All the Winnie the Pooh stuff, and along with it comes, any other cartoons. But it became known as Pooh's room. So where's the ladder? The ladder's in Pooh's room. Okay.
Right.
Where is this or that? And if it's in that room, we'll say it's in Pooh's room. So you got a Winnie the Pooh. Is Haas into Winnie the Pooh yet,
Not a
or
bit.
not a bit?
Not a bit.
Has it come and gone, or it hasn't come yet?
No, he likes the rough and tumble, the little characters that fight, and
No Tigger, the bouncy
no,
where he jumps
no,
on everybody's lap.
no. He's not into Winnie the Pooh at all. No,
No
the Marvel Avengers, Sonic the Hedgehog, all the
things that kill.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So the
So
topic for tonight is why are cameras important. I only got to the very, very top, and I can't say that there was, in my opinion. Okay, of course, Sly has her own opinion, and it usually
it's not the same.
not the same. Okay, it's a different opinion. Sly has this thing of put Peter in his place.
We're a good yin and yang.
Yes, we're yin and yang, and I
Yeah.
prefer. Can we put that today? After I came home from the physical, I have a tradition, and my tradition is It doesn't go with anybody's diet, but it's to stop off at McDonald's and get a big breakfast, which gives you 3 pancakes, sausage, scrambled eggs, hash browns, and a biscuit.
Hmm.
And I ate everything except the third pancake because I didn't see any need to. I have a hard time cutting through 3 rows of pancakes, so I take one off and then I can cut through 2. So why did I bring that up? Tradition. Well, anyway,
Tradition. Yes.
tradition, tradition. So we do have a few people in here.
So did they by any chance look at your leg?
Yes, he looked at my leg and he said, "We're going to have to take an x ray of that. Here's a prescription to go someplace to take an x ray."
Okay.
Guess what's not going to happen? I might go for that one because the pain is still there. I
Yes.
still limp. But I did get my handicap parking ticket thing. I brought it in because they in Florida anyway, they've gotten very strict because everybody and his uncle is signing up. So I came in with a cane, limping, dragging my foot, and oh my God, they all treated me like I was an old man. 2 nurses came and helped me up on the thing to weigh myself. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Do I look that old? You know? Damn. It was a little bit annoying to tell you the truth, so
No, you should be honored.
I kind of like was honored, but it's also kind of like acknowledging, that you're getting old,
Yeah, bring
which
yourself down a little bit.
I'm trying. I'm working on it. So bossy, such a controlling person.
Well, your hair is like right on the edge of
Okay.
the thing.
Is it better?
A little bit. You could come
Okay.
down even with me. Am I
No,
too
no.
down too low?
Yeah, you're too low, but don't. I'll take care of that because I don't want you to change the setup on your cameras. So I have to make you a little bit bigger. I have no latitude to move you. Okay, so now.
Well, I had latitude in Ecamm,
Oh,
so I could have moved it. Yeah, but that's fine.
okay. Is it all right now?
It's fine.
Okay. I could
Here,
actually
two thumbs up.
2 thumbs. You notice when we're in these little squares,
Yeah,
we can't do thumbs up. We're not in
I
the
know.
frame.
I know. You can't see it.
No,
I'm doing it, but you can't see it.
I'm
Yeah.
doing it, but I can't see it. So I'm trying to get back on track. Oh, I was saying hi to Sammy because I haven't seen Sammy or talked to him actually in quite a while, but he's in college. So I try not to annoy him, but I do like to talk to him. He's one of those very, very, very super duper friendly people.
He is.
Okay.
He is. I like
Yes.
Sammy.
And speaking of super duper friendly, who else would you think is super duper friendly?
Lewis is not feeling well. He
I'm
got
reading that. What the heck's going on?
Yeah, he got some food poisoning and he hasn't been well since I think Tuesday night. Tuesday
Oh
or
my
Wednesday.
God. Well,
Yeah.
let's pray for him for sure.
We definitely say a little prayer for Lewis.
Would you say that oil of oregano would be helpful to kill the food poisoning stuff in the body? I think without
Mm,
asking anybody, I would. I would do the.
it's more for an immunity, not to
No,
kill
it
food.
kills. I put it on a cut, and it makes the cut heal quicker externally. I don't
Well, I
mean
mean,
in the mouth.
if he's got any, it's not going to hurt him, but I don't think it'll. I think it just has to run its course.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Lewis is suffering. So let's pray for Lewis and, keep him in our prayers. We do a lot of joking here, but we are a family and a lot of us are praying people, different
Mhm.
religions, but we are praying people. So let's keep Lewis in our prayers because he's a suffering. He's a suffering.
Yeah, he
Okay.
must be going on about what 2 or 3 days of it now.
Oh boy.
So
Wow.
Oh, Carlos came in here. I didn't recognize him without a hat. Sorry. Look at that smile on that guy. That's
that
a
good-looking fellow
million
from
dollar.
California.
Yeah, that $1 million
Yes.
smile is right there. Unbelievable.
We pretty much have
Man.
the whole United States represented at this point.
Yeah.
That's right, huh? I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yep, we got the east,
Yeah,
west, and the middle.
In the
the
middle.
whole
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
The whole deal.
The whole
Man.
deal. So
Man, I feel bad. I
are
feel
you out
bad for
early?
Lazuka. I feel bad for
Right.
Lazuka right now, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't even know what
No?
was going on. So, Lewis is saying happy birthday to you, Sly. He's in that.
Yes. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you.
Okay.
That's the
And
worst. Being down with food poisoning, you guys know that, right? It's the
Yeah. Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
uh,
Oh,
I agree.
you know, when I say my prayers, I'm a Christian guy. You guys know that. So I do enter a daily time of prayer. And it's unfortunate. I'm actually tattling on myself a little bit. When I pray about everybody, I pray about all things. Okay. But when I pray about me, I noticed I pray a lot about provision, or let me simplify it, money. Lord, I need some money. Okay. But I'll tell you what, if you had a choice between health and money, maybe
oh, come on.
a young guy might pick the wrong thing. But as we get older, it's like, dang, if health
Yeah.
isn't the more important part,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
No, you can't do anything with money if you're sick, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You
what
can
you
lay
can
in bed
do.
and look at all your money sitting on the bureau, you know?
Remember
It's
several years ago, I remember I was in the emergency room. I was getting ready for some surgery. I guess it was something going on. I think it was the appendix. I think that's what it was. So it was a
ooh,
long time ago. But as I was in the emergency room overnight, like it was late in the evening, I remember hearing this girl next to me, and she was just
crying?
projectile nonstop.
Oh,
Just nonstop, and I felt
Yeah.
so bad for her, and I remember her boyfriend was there with her. I think it was her boyfriend or her husband, maybe. They were very young, and I could just hear how helpless he felt, and I remember the nurse came in, and he's like, "Can you do something?" And the nurse said, "Sweetheart, there is nothing that we can do to stop her projectile vomiting. You just can't. Unfortunately, you have to let the food poisoning take its course, you
yeah.
know?"
Right.
And I felt so bad, but at that point, I remember thinking, I don't ever want to get it again. I had it once. I just don't want to get it again because they can't
Right.
do anything about it. There's nothing they can
Nope.
do about it,
All the
And
you
money in
know?
the world, and you can't stop it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
thinking
Right.
that if your pastor
Yeah.
walked in on you and you were in that condition, he would not be saying, "Oh Lord, prosper this lady, bless
Yeah.
her, let her have enough funds to meet her rent." And no,
Right.
heal her. She's sick as hell.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Exactly.
Lord, we need a healing when we don't feel good. You
Oh,
know.
that it's just yeah. Oh man. So anyway, okay. Wow. Wow.
So did
Well,
you hear our topic tonight? I was thinking about you.
yeah, that's a great topic, Peter. I love that.
I thought I would tickle your piano keys there.
Wow. But I want to hear your guys's, because like you're yin and yang. I heard you say that. You totally are, you guys. And I want to hear your yin and yang philosophies, you know?
Well, Sly
That'd be
happens
cool.
to agree with me on this 100%. She has no dissenting anything to say. She's in a very sweet mood tonight. It must be her birthday and Mother's Day. When those two moons come together, Sly becomes nice to Peter. I don't know why, you know.
Huh. Wow.
I
It's all the,
didn't get. Did you email me that memo? Because I didn't get it yet.
Oh, here it comes.
well, I only came on for one reason to make
Yes.
sure that you're not making faces, Peter. That's all I'm here so that I'm gonna make sure that you don't get out of hand with Sly.
No,
That's all
no,
I'm saying.
I get to make faces tonight. It's
Okay.
his show, so I get to make faces.
Well, that's right, Sly. That's right.
Okay, Sly, stop making faces.
So I think in 2025, because that was the title of your show, we
Mm-hmm.
have such a plethora of
Plethora.
cameras to choose from. So, for instance, you use the big cameras with the lenses, and I mean, I know Eleanor, you don't think is that big, but you can change the lenses, and you're all about that camera guy. And I'm using a webcam too, actually.
Yeah,
Right.
which looks really good too.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and then if I'm not here, I use an action camera. So
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much more to pick from than, say, back in the film days where everything was the big camera with the interchangeable lenses. And I mean, you had your disposable cameras and stuff, but do you guys remember the film camera that was on a disc?
Yeah. It took me a second to recall it.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
They had like
The film was
20,
on a disc.
it was like 20 pictures or something, and the disc
Wow.
And the
rotated
A long
disc would,
time
around.
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a long time ago.
You know what my
But
mind went to? I Love Lucy.
okay.
They had an episode where Lucy and the whole family, Fred and Ethel and Lucy and Ricky, they went on a snow trip. And of course, something happened with the mountains, and that was the theme.
Mhm.
But Ethel brought her camera, and it was a twin lens reflex, like a Rolleiflex, if you guys even know what I'm talking about out there.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a one up here, a lens, and another one below it. And
like the
that's how
square
they
box.
were, yeah. And
Yeah,
that's how they were looking down into it, and that's how they were
Wow.
making memories of that trip, you
right.
Wow.
know? So today, that would be the size of a car. I mean, everything is shrunk.
Hmm.
Now you would take and whip out your phone. That reminds me to
Yep.
take out my phone, okay?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
if somebody
Well,
leaves
and
here, he will
that
let
too.
me
I
know.
didn't even bring the phones into,
Yep.
but they're a very viable camera as well. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to put it on silent.
So since this is my show, and I'm in
Yes.
charge, and
Uh
I
huh.
own the camera, and
Uh huh.
I bought the Ecamm, I'm kind of like controlling right now because Sly says I'm way too controlling. Okay,
You are.
that's
Yes.
just that's what her opinion is. Obviously,
That's right. That's
it's all
her
it's
subjective reality. That's right.
that's
Once you get to know him,
once
yeah.
you
Okay.
get to know him, you can't get him to shut up, you know. But anyway, we aren't talking about that problem.
Oh, okay.
But I forgot
Different
where I was
problem.
going.
Mm.
Oh, uh, the title of the show is Why Are Cameras Important? And I
Yep.
added the year 2025. Now, that
Mm.
shows you the difference of a woman's perspective and a man's
Oh.
perspective and Peter's
Oh,
perspective.
okay.
Okay. She
Mm.
focused on the year 2025 in my title, and it was incidental. I thought maybe I should put that so they don't think it's an old show. I had an argument with myself, is what I did. Okay. And I'm thinking, like, well, if I put the year, it'll make it seem like a fresh topic. If I don't put the year, this show could become more evergreen. Like, why are cameras important? Is that the whole thing, Sly, or in your life, or something like that? Um, but the first words out of Sly's mouth was 2025. That was the last words out of my brain was 2025, and it goes to show you the different perspectives. So, being in charge of this show, okay, and
Yes.
being bossy and controlling, all right,
Yes.
I have already placed two items that equal the top of that, okay, and that is cameras are important in our lives because they record the memories all through our lives and something we can recall. So I at the beginning of the show, before anybody came in, I was talking about how I took pictures of my dad at Father's Day or his birthday, one of the two, and
Mm.
I just happened to look at it this week. I don't know why, but it's a memory that I was able to capture, and it was the camera that did the job. Okay,
Right. Right.
so I would say that is a top priority, but we
Yep.
have co-stars in this show, okay? And that co-star is not only does it capture the memory for us to have for our entire lifetime at any time, it also is a means of creativity. And those are called hobbies, and cameras fit into the structure of a hobby. Of course, it could become somebody's career, okay?
Right. Right.
But for most of us, it's not our career. We don't have 8 billion photographers on this planet. So, but you could have 8 billion people recording stuff in some machine, okay, for memory. So the two top co-stars of Why Are Cameras Important, Carlos, I assigned them that they are a creative outlet, which is something we all need. It's a prerequisite of life. We need a creative outlet of some type, okay? And then the other one is it allows us to capture memories that can last a lifetime and be just as fresh 30 years later as they are today, you know. And now we were going to fill in the supporting cast. Now, this is where Sly gets all nasty and she says, Peter, but you're wrong. That's not who the stars of this film is. Look at that smile on her face. Look at that. She's just waiting. She's just waiting to clobber me. She's just waiting to clobber me over there.
No, I want to know Carlos's opinion.
After all that, you want to know his opinion?
I'll make a video about it. I'll put it out tomorrow.
There you go. It would actually make a good video, wouldn't it? For your channel. But no, I do want to hear your. And Sly, I haven't heard yours.
Yeah,
you haven't even you haven't even disagreed with me yet. I can't even fight with you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, basic English, which, Peter, I know is not your first language, but it is. You're fully immersed in it now. So if you were wanting to denote a date, say May the 9th to 2025, you could have very easily done that off to the side. You didn't have to put it in the same sentence as the title. So it's just what I'm saying. But
there is no side. I would say, how many people are in here? This is we're going on a rabbit trail, but how many people do you really think look in the description? I don't think many people do. As a matter of fact, I very rarely look into the description unless I want to see something about what a person is talking about. Did they write it down? You know,
right.
Like I've gotten very heavy into car soap and washing my car, and they'll be washing a car and they won't even mention the damn soap they're using, and it's like made so much foam that it's impressive. Why don't you say the name of the foam? So I'll look in the description at that point to see what the name of the foam is, you know.
So I have noticed that in my old age that pictures of non-famous people are only good for 2 generations.
That's an interesting thought. And now that I think of myself in that, whatever you just said, I don't think I go farther than 2 generations. I don't look at pictures of my great-great-great-grandfather or grandmother. I might be curious if I happen to see somebody showing me, this is your great-great-grandfather, Peter. And I'm going like, let me see. That's interesting. But I have never dug it up. So, Sly, you're on something there.
Yeah, so where they're important to us in the here and now, don't put too much emphasis, because 2 generations from now, they will mean absolutely nothing because those people didn't know us.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I see that with my grandson every single week. He has no idea who my mother was.
You have a cool story on that. You have a cool story on that.
Right.
Tell that story, Sly. She's thinking like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about?
You talking about the angel story?
Yeah. Haas would see, Haas is her grandson. So, he would see a picture, and Sly's going to tell the story, not Peter. Go ahead, Sly.
So they say that, you know, babies come from heaven.
Yes, they do.
They can see angels up to a point, right?
Or people.
Well, angels, yeah. Okay. And this is where Peter and I differ, okay? Because I do believe in angels and he's not so much. Anyway.
I do. So, wait a minute. I'm going to send Gabriel over there and straighten you out.
Okay. You don't think people can come back down here as angels?
No.
I think that they can. So that's where we differ on that. But anyway, so Haas is like 2 years old. He's still in diapers. And I have a poster from my mother's assisted living room of all the whole family. Okay. And one of them is her husband and my daughter. And so as I'm changing this little baby's diaper, he says, "That's my mama and grandpa." And I'm like, okay. Now, my stepfather died in 2015 and Haas was born in 2019. So that makes a difference. And he was adamant that was grandpa. So I said something to my daughter about it, and she said, "Oh, he probably is just thinking he looks like dad," my ex-husband. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I don't believe that, but okay. So the next time he was down, same scenario, same exact response.
Hmm.
And so I pulled up a picture of my ex-husband on Facebook and I said, "Do you know who this is?" And he says, "Yeah, that's mommy's daddy." Complete distinction between grandpa and mommy's daddy. Okay.
Wow.
He knew they were different people. And he says, "Grandpa plays trains with me." Now he would disappear into his room and play trains. And apparently grandpa was playing trains with him. And he would tell his mom this, but we just thought it was like an imaginary friend or whatever. And it turned out, I think, that, I mean, as much as we can know, but he actually was seeing his grandpa, right? Which would actually have been his great grandpa. But that's what everybody called him in our family, was Grandpa Glenn. And so his imaginary friend's name was Awen. And if you're two, you can't really say Glenn very well. So we think that Awen was probably Glenn.
Glenn.
But he has since outgrown that. And the last time he was down, he was 5. And I asked him who was in that poster, and he didn't know him. So it's gone.
It disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
So I'm
what you're
pretty sure.
talking about, what you're saying is, believe it or not, is another form of a camera, but it's not a physical, mechanical camera. It's a function of the brain. So he was seeing a picture and assigning it to, who did you say it was? Grandpa?
Grandpa Glenn, yeah.
Grandpa Glenn.
But he didn't know, nobody had ever shown him a picture of him before. He didn't know from any more than looking at a picture of you.
Yeah.
You know.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I believe, you know, I'm 100% sure there's an afterlife. And so it didn't surprise me, but I'm sad that it's gone. I'm sad that he's outgrown that, you know.
See how that fits in with my mental thinking is I believe we were created before we came to the earth. I believe that we are infants, babies, or people, I don't know, in heaven. And then at some point when we're looking at God, we're in heaven. We could see. I assume that everybody in heaven is not blind. Okay. And if they are, we need a mass healing to happen real quick. But I believe we come here and the purpose of it would become more theological. Okay. It's to choose for or against God. Okay. But I believe when you first arrive, you still have some memories in your camera in your brain. And I think your grandson was seeing things that he remembered in heaven before he came here. And as we get older, they fade. And eventually we lose those memories. And then we become...
I think angels can come and help here on earth. That's where you and I differ. So I think...
I don't think we differ. I think there's a definition of the angel. Okay. And I believe the angels do come and help. I mean, the Bible just says that they do. We even entertain angels unaware, the Bible says. So for all we know, Carlos might be an angel. He's not going to let us know that. Okay. But I could
my
be...
wife.
That's what I was going to say.
Actually, I'm in agreement. We got a 3-way tie going on here, a 3-way agreement. She is one person, but she needs Jesus as much as anybody else. But yes, so I do believe in angels. I just don't believe that people can come back once they're gone, because you could start new religions that way on a daily basis. My dad in his last days was hallucinating, and he would swear my mother came and visited him the night before. Okay. And I immediately would say no, but then after a while I got curious. What did you what did you guys talk about? You know, what was going on? You know, and she'll be back.
I think they can. I don't think that we as adults can see them, but I definitely think that they can.
They can. Oh, you mean the person? So let's say you think my mother and dad can come here, but I can't see them, is what you're thinking. Okay, so let's not take the show in that direction. Okay. Let's keep it that the fact that we are making a memory and we're using this machine to make that memory.
Yeah, I
But
think you
you brought up something weird, but very true. Haas had a memory, and it was from his brain. And I think, okay, that disappeared over time. And now you said he looks at the same picture, he no longer sees what you said he saw when he was a
well,
younger.
he doesn't have any idea who he is now.
Okay,
So,
so that disappeared. Okay, so
well,
Yep.
it would have to. I mean, as you know, it would have to. If you remembered life in heaven, how could
before,
you possibly, yeah, how could you possibly, if you never, if that veil never closed, how could you possibly not want to go back there?
exactly. That's
So
good.
it would have to, yeah.
Good point. Now let's. Since Sly has gotten us way off track tonight. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh, why are cameras important? And we're putting in, you know, reasoning. Uh, so I presented two. I happen to place them at the top. It doesn't mean you have to stay there. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's let Carlos and Sly talk about this, since this is the Sly and Carlos show.
Yeah.
But
We'll
I've actually have a lot of, as you, I'm sure you're not surprised, I have a lot of related content for this question. So that I remember, I think I might even have this in one of my blogs. So I looked for it really quick to see, oh yeah, there it is. It's something very similar to this. I'd actually put it in the guest chat. And there's 6 things that I remember writing about this. And so you asked for it, so I'm gonna give it to
does
you
it
a little bit.
does this sentence end with Toyota?
I don't think so.
Okay. You
But you
got
guys
it,
hit on a couple of them.
Toyota.
You guys hit on a couple of them. So first of all, I remember writing in cameras as memory keepers. They're memory keepers.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't get into that one too much. Cameras as tools of identity. That's a little different, maybe. You know, I put a camera as no longer just a lens pointed outward. It's a lens tuned inward. And we remember, Peter, I think we made one of my videos about that too. What does your camera say about you?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they can be powerful tools of identity. I also think they can also be instruments of witness, right? Today, especially with our cameras, with our phones.
You want to
But
define that a little
also,
bit?
well, what I actually said in this one, I wrote, in a world increasingly shaped by curated illusions and synthetic truths, the camera remains a moral compass. To capture something as it is, unfiltered, unstaged, is to bear witness. Some images confront, some console, but all carry the sacred power of saying, I was there. This mattered. So that was what I had in as using cameras as instruments of witness. There is then I thought about this one. Cameras as agents of stillness. You know, to raise a camera is to resist the culture of constant motion. So, you know, there's really sometimes it's not easy. And some people, maybe you guys have done this if you've ever done any wildlife photography, but man, you gotta sit out there for a long time with that camera, you know, in your hands. It demands that we look, not just see, that we frame, not just glance. In this way, the camera becomes a spiritual instrument, reminding us that beauty is not something that we chase, but something that we notice. And then I thought about how I phrased it. I think I can see cameras as being everyday alchemy, you know, where photographers kind of are what I put quiet magicians. You know, they take the overlooked, the steam on a window, you know, just the whatever, just the very interesting, the crack in the wall kind of thing, the slump in a tired shoulder or something, and they transmute it into gold. A photograph says, even this matters, like this even.
Right.
And you know, it's like I think that's powerful. And the last one I ended up putting in that is I really thought that cameras as they're also symbols of power. It's like you're holding influence with your camera. You know, you're Every frame is a choice. You know, what is seen, what is left out, what is illuminated. The camera can distort or it can reveal. I mean, we have a lot of power to do things with this camera, right? And so that's kind of what I think. I think it's also, you know, it ties into responsibility, like our cameras are responsibilities. So, man, I think cameras, man, I'm sure there's a lot more too. I'm sure there's a lot more, you know, but those are some of the things that I think it means to me.
Well, you said something there you went over rather quickly, but
Okay.
I wrote it down because it's
Mm.
actually t-shirt material.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Even this matters.
Yeah.
I would wear a t-shirt that says even this matters.
Right.
Okay. I think we should
Right.
expand on that because
Yep.
that is a very powerful thing to think about. If you took a picture of something, it mattered for the moment, you know.
Yep.
So
Yep.
even this matters.
Mhm.
I don't know. It exploded in my mind. Does it do anything for you, or
Yeah.
it was just in passing?
No, I say that if you watch, man, my videos, I think I say that way too much. This matters. You matter. This matters. You know, it's
Right.
always because we just I don't know. Personally, for me, sometimes I will maybe I want to take a photo, you know, with with how somebody's going to receive it in mind, you know, or what, instead of just this matters to me. This
Mhm.
photo that I'm going to take of this right here, it just matters to me. It does matter, you know, and no matter what anybody else thinks, but this right now is piquing my interest. I'm interested in this. It's standing out to me. I see it, whatever it is, you know, but I think it's good, you know. It's like I know I can see how that would be a good one, Peter. Yeah. Have a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like
that's good.
t-shirts that say something that's not super obvious
Yep.
versus there's t-shirts that are very obvious, like
Yeah.
something a year in a concert or something, that's obvious.
Yep.
All right.
Right.
Yep.
But then when you make a t-shirt, like Sly is wearing a Winnie the Pooh t-shirt, that's pretty direct and clear. But
Yep.
if it said over there, even this matters,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, there's not a real definition to that. Each person's going to make up their own definition for that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
So you just also inadvertently introduced something else about a camera.
Mm.
Okay. And why cameras are important. There's two aspects of a camera.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
in the point that I'm trying to make, and that is me. I'm trying to say something here. I'm taking this picture because it's about something I want to say. And then the other flip side of that is you. So it's me and you. I'm taking this picture for you, okay, for you to enjoy, for you to interpret, for it to elicit something or cause something to happen in you. So
Yep.
each picture can have a me and or you effect. Okay,
Yep.
so I would say the when they used to take the pictures for war, Vietnam War and stuff, that's you. They're showing you, you know, for you to interpret that picture of this child and it's covered in mud or whatever that war picture is. Okay, versus a wedding picture where that one is taken me. I have this to say. I love this girl. Okay, and that's what that picture, obviously that would be a selfie, okay, not the photographer's picture. So there's a me and you aspect to a photo. There's a underlying reason for that picture. Either it's about me saying something or it's about something I want you to receive, you know. So, am I making that part clear, or is this a jumble?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting that pictures can hold so much more mystery than a video. When I was in my 20s, and I have no idea who the photographer was or who the woman was, but there's in Santa Fe and Albuquerque, they have these Indian street peddlers, and they'll throw their blankets out, and they'll sell their wares in front of like a city building or whatever. And a photographer, had taken a picture of this Indian lady who had to be 100 years old. I mean, just her face was just nothing but wrinkles, but she had the kindest eyes, and she actually looked like she was very wise for some reason. I don't know why that, but if he had taken a video of that same woman, it would have changed the entire feel
Foundation. Yeah.
of that moment. Yeah. So pictures in place of videos can be so much more. And in videos, what you get is what you get.
Yeah.
I fully expect to be slammed on this by both of you and 99% of the audience.
Okay.
But my character has a structure where I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. It really annoys me at a very high level. I'm not vocal and I'm not adamant, but it's like my response is how unrespectful it is. So what Sly just said, when you see this picture of a 102-year-old person and they're so wrinkled that they look basically ugly, I don't think that woman or that man would like to be remembered like that, you know? And I just think that's rude. That's why you never see me posting a picture like that. And when a person takes and posts a picture like that, I think they're being inconsiderate. Okay.
It's
So
interesting that because I never said whether she was pretty or ugly. She just had all these wrinkles, and you automatically picked up on that she was
it's
ugly.
The wrinkles are
not.
ugly. The wrinkles are ugly to me.
Okay.
She was once a young lady and looked pretty. Okay. And she was concerned about how her skin and complexion was, and depending on what year she lived, obviously, and her hair and this and that. And now here's a picture of her so wrinkled, it basically looks ugly. Okay,
Peter,
now I know I'm fighting uphill, okay, but I'm going to give me a chance to fight, okay? Go ahead.
The Navajo respect their elderly.
They're screwed up.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Okay, so what I mean by that is it's the pictures. It's the pictures of the elderly that I don't like. It's not I respect the elderly.
Well, then don't
highly.
Look at them.
Okay.
Carlos doesn't know what to think.
Yes, he does. He's
this is yin and yang, man.
Yin
that's all
yang.
I'm saying.
That's what I said.
There it
is. Go ahead, Peter. Take off on another tangent. We can handle
it. That wasn't a tangent. That was a real thought. I just think it's disrespectful, and I would think if the woman saw that, no teeth, wrinkled beyond ability to recognize who she is, I think she would say, I have a negative thought when she sees that picture.
Well, it doesn't matter how old they are. Navajos do not like to have their picture taken.
Okay, why do you keep bringing up? Are you Indian? We got an Indian problem going on here. I'm in Florida. It's more Indian around here than in Oklahoma. You would be the cowboys up there.
I thought Oklahoma was a lot of Indian in Oklahoma.
No. They shoot Indians. They're cowboys. No. They're the cowboys that shoot the Indians.
Oh, there's a lot of reservations, I think, in Oklahoma. I think, right?
Yeah, I know that.
Not so many reservations, but we've got lots of tribes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got lots of tribes. That's what I've heard. Yeah. Lots of tribes.
Yes. Yeah.
We have a lot of reservations here in California. Lots.
Yes.
Well, they're part of our culture here. Okay.
Well, see, what I would say is this. It really does depend on the person that you're taking the picture of, because if that is a 99-year-old, 100-year-old person, I seriously doubt, and you know this as well as I do, usually as we get older, we tend to care less about things that just don't matter.
Right.
And I don't think they would be offended at all by that, because they're way past that. Like, right. That's not even going to be something that's going to be land on their radar, is being offended by you at that age. And then the other part is, what if they're really secure? What if
it doesn't matter?
Yeah. And maybe, and so maybe it's even it really doesn't bother them, not only because they're past that, but also because they weren't insecure, about themselves. I think if maybe you've known people like this. I had a client whose mother was a very miserable, unfortunately, really miserable mother and miserable woman, and she was like that until the end, and she was extremely difficult all the way to the end. She carried her deep fears and insecurities with her to the end of her life. And that happens sometimes. But I would guarantee you, if you took a picture of her, I think what you would say, Peter, is right. For her, I think she wouldn't want that picture. She was very self-conscious, extremely self-conscious. And so I think for someone like that, yeah, I'm sure that they wouldn't like that. But see, I see that as, I don't know. That's just the way I kind of see the wrinkled face as just. I just see it as like, it's art. It's God's art. It's like, yeah, that's where we go as we get older. This weekend, I went with my wife to a big conference. They celebrated 7 Japanese women of Los Angeles. They do this every year. The 7 most influential Japanese women of the year. And so we went to support one of my wife's friends who was being honored.
Mm.
And this lady, she's probably in her early 70s, very wealthy. They live in Malibu. She has a beautiful tea house there. And then there's my wife's sensei. My wife's sensei is also around the same age. There's the difference though between them. So I say hello to her, to the Malibu sensei, and she's so sweet, but I don't know, she's had more work than you could possibly imagine. She doesn't have a wrinkle on her face, not a
Right.
wrinkle on her face. But I'm telling you, I don't know when she's smiling. I don't know when she's feeling something. I don't see
Oh,
anything.
oh
It
my God.
does not move. It doesn't
Right.
move. I'm telling you, it just doesn't move. But she doesn't have a wrinkle.
I have 2 brothers, and they both
You
love
know?
this show. And there's an actress on there that is exactly that. The surprised look, the I'm scared look, the I'm happy look, the I'm sad look, all look identical. And I make fun of it all night long, and they get really, really pissed off at me. It's like, you can stop with the negative comments. I said, but it's all the same face. There's no acting going on, So,
It's it's so hard. And then I sit next to my at the table with my wife and her sensei. Okay, her sensei has so many wrinkles, dude. I mean, so many wrinkles.
Right.
But
that's a
she's
lot of
just.
laughing and a lot of crying in that face.
But you know what? When I look at her, there is a beauty in that. There really is, especially when
Hmm.
she smiles.
Hmm.
I love
Right.
her smile. And I love taking a lot of pictures of her whenever I can, whenever I go to some of these events. So I don't know. I agree with, some of that, but I also think it's interesting, how we can look at those things. But I also think, like, last thing I would say is it's just it's a sign as well, which I don't like. I don't like that it's a sign of something.
Things to come.
You know? Yes.
Things
It's
to
like
come,
See,
I'm not,
I see it as a sign of a life well lived.
yeah, that's good
And,
too. Slicey, yeah.
so
But it's
I
also capturing a moment. So if I were going to
it
argue
is.
against my own self, I would say
Yeah.
that's who she is at that moment,
Right.
and
Right.
that is someplace that, God willing, we all will get to that point,
Mhm.
for that moment. So why, Peter, are you so against recording that moment? Why are you so against that? That
Mm.
is what a camera does. It actually captures reality, okay? And now you're looking at reality and you don't like what you're seeing. And my retort to my own self
That's
would
really true.
be, I'm a people pleaser, so I don't think that woman would be pleased with that picture of herself.
Ah, yeah,
She
yeah,
doesn't want to be remembered as an older, wrinkled person. She wants to be remembered as somebody pretty that was attractive and alluring to the opposite sex, if it's a guy,
yeah.
okay, that you're seeing in the picture. And that's the way they would like to be. And we're squashing a part of their life by posting those kind of pictures. So I'm making that argument. I realize I'm not winning because I'm arguing against myself. That is what the reality is of that moment. That's what you
Well,
become.
I think what you're bringing up is a really good point too. When we take pictures is, I think it can also be a tool of healing, to take pictures of things that we might find uncomfortable. And maybe that could be helpful actually, to, uh, so I think we could kind of use it. I mean, it reflects what we're uncomfortable with, right? I think you're onto something there, Peter. I think that's really good too. I really like what Norm said right there. I think that's
Yes, I
cool,
do too. I do
right?
too.
Who's Norm?
And from whether the I don't know who the photographer was. I don't know who the lady was. I just know that when I saw the picture, and I was a young woman at this time, when I saw that picture, it evoked something in me, and that's the mark of a good photographer, that
Okay.
you where
Hmm.
you know nothing about the subject or the photographer, either one, and you just see a picture and it makes
Mm-hmm.
you feel something.
Yeah.
Makes you
So,
feel something. Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Well, if we're
I don't know if
looking at our
have you ever
own,
done this?
So
go
that was
ahead,
more the point than the old lady.
Carlos.
Yeah,
We both
yeah.
walked over your question. What was your question?
Oh no, it was if sometimes if I've gone into an antique store, I love going through the pictures.
Oh,
Yes.
really? I never. Okay,
It's
interesting.
so cool. I mean, nobody knows who these people are,
Right.
but they are somebody, and they experienced a life, and it's just interesting to look at them and kind of read into that, and yeah, you can connect even sometimes with some of that emotion, with something that you're seeing on their face, or what they're doing. If it's a family picture, I think it's really neat to go into what might be happening there, you know?
So all of what we're talking about tonight is
Mm.
all made possible by this.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. By the way, I have a new lens. Can you tell it's on the large side?
What is
It's
that?
it's a Sony 70 to 350, but it's a crop
What?
sensor, so it's a 105 to 550. Okay.
Oh,
And let me tell you, it's not large in comparison to a full frame lens that would do the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But the amount of fun in this little cylinder is amazing. I mean, I went
Okay.
outside and I took pictures of coconuts and trees. I never look at coconuts. Okay, who the heck
So
Right.
cares
cool.
about a coconut? But because I
Yeah,
could bring that coconut
yeah.
right into my what
Yep,
you call it thing here,
yep.
it's a fun lens. So it becomes,
That's cool.
hey, there's another thing we can add. A camera is a tool to have fun with. Okay,
Mhm,
it helps us
mhm.
have fun. Like some people like cars. I happen to like cars.
Yep,
It's for fun. But
yeah,
there's people that like pictures. Randy has a ball with cameras. I mean,
Mhm.
he totally, totally
you
enjoys
can tell,
cameras.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's an instrument of fun. I
Right.
yeah.
don't care for, and this is not an insult, I mean it with the highest respect. I don't care a lot for kayaking. Who wants to
Right.
go out, turn upside down, get dunked, get baptized every 5 minutes? Okay. I've been baptized. Thank you very much. I had it. But,
Well, I wouldn't wanna get on a kayak if I was flipping over every 5 minutes and getting dunked, so I
well,
think the point of kayaking is not turning over every 5 minutes and getting dunked, isn't it?
I don't know. Let's ask the
It's
expert.
it's still fun.
See, she's having fun. The kayak
Yeah.
is an instrument of fun.
Right.
Got it.
Boating is an instrument of
Yeah,
fun. And
right.
I don't know if the light just went off in my mind. The camera is an instrument of fun. We
Yeah,
can add that to the
exactly.
list. Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
goes back to your hobbyist.
Yeah, but the fun is for me. It's not. It
Oh,
doesn't. Isn't. You're not having any fun with my camera while I'm using it, but I
okay.
am. Okay. So that
Okay.
is a little self-centered, but what can I tell you? We have to have fun to balance our lives, to have a healthy mental, uh, whatever it is that goes on. Like I went to the doctor today for my physical,
Yes, yes.
and I had that office in hysterics, and they gave me a clipboard where I have to fill this out. I said, "Oh, the suicide paper." And they all cracked up laughing. "Do you want to die? Yes or no? Have you thought that life would be better off without you? Yes or no? Do you think if you had thoughts of death very often? Yes or no?" What the hell kind of a paper is that to give me when I go to the doctor's office? I don't get that when I go to the dentist's office. "Do you want to die?" "Yes, I want out of here, out of the dentist's office, fast as possible." You know? So I just started reading the questions out loud, got everybody's attention, and they're just
Right.
so stupid. Those questions are so dumb.
Mm.
Why don't you just ask, "Are you suicidal? Yes or no?" You know? But I'm treading on Carlos's territory here. Sorry, Carlos. But
Well, you're not at all. What do you mean? No way.
I just like, well, yeah, maybe there's a reason for that paper. Maybe they're covering their own butts. Like if somebody does commit suicide, then somebody's not going to come
Probably.
back and sue the doctor. Like, didn't you
Well, true.
Yep.
recognize that they were suicidal? And the doctor
Yeah.
can whip out this
Yep.
paper. I asked them 40 different ways if they wanted to die. If you think everybody's better off without you here, I'm ranting now, aren't I? But anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
I enjoyed being the center of attention for a few minutes. Then the nurse stuck me extra deep, and because I was making fun of the form. No, I'm being funny, but
Yes.
I call it the
You're
suicide
embellishing.
sheet, and they all laugh because you know what? That is what it is. It's the suicide sheet, and I have to fill it in every time I go to the doctor. How often does the person have to be asked, "Are you gonna die soon?" Well, that's
You
what I
know,
came to the doctor
they
to tell me.
they do that after a certain age.
Oh, it is age.
Do they
It's
Because
really? I didn't know that.
a
I didn't
lot of
know that either.
elderly are stuck in their homes by themselves. They don't have a social life. They don't
Yeah.
get out and meet people or anything. And so the only time they do get to go out is to go to the doctor.
And maybe
So,
that's their way of putting a flag up, a red flag.
yes,
I'm having a hard time with life or something. That's a
right.
good point.
Mhm.
Leave it to Sly to come up with something sensible with such a stupid piece of paper. Like,
There is a reason for a few things, but yes.
yes, Winnie the Pooh. That's the answer right there.
And Tigger
Or
too.
my new T-shirt. Even this matters.
That's right.
I
I like
love
that.
that T-shirt. Yes, I'm going to start a T-shirt company of sayings, not a
There you
T-shirt
go.
company of sayings.
You can do that on Fourth Wall all you want to. You can design as many t-shirts as you want to, and it doesn't cost a dime to invest in it, and they'll just pump them out as people order them, and it
And
doesn't
if
have
you
to be
get a
people you
following,
know.
you got something going there,
Well,
right?
but it doesn't have to be people you know unless you're going to promote Peter Gregg on it somewhere. So if
Well,
you're just
that's
like,
true.
yeah,
So
so
that
you
prayer that I was
design.
doing earlier that I said, "God help me with my finance and this and that," and you're probably gonna say, "I gave you 25 sayings for T-shirts. You didn't write one of them down. You haven't made a single stinking
Well,
T-shirt."
and we've had several discussions about how you could earn a little bit of money, extra money, and I don't believe you're doing any of those either.
See, when I stand before God, Sly's gonna be right there, and she's gonna
Going,
be standing right next to me, and she's gonna say, "I told him, I told him, I told him."
I
You
gave him
know.
several ideas, but yeah. In fact, I ran across when I was moving a bunch of stuff at the garage sale, I ran across a box that I was going to send you, and then you decided not to do it. So,
Are you talking to me or Carlos?
well, I wasn't going to send Carlos a box. I think he's got his plate full.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, that would be you, Peter.
Oh, I'm just checking. Okay.
Yes, yes. So I ended up selling some of the stuff at the garage sale, and I
So
have
you
a
were
few
going to give me
pieces
stuff and
left.
then you wound up selling it. So Indian
This
giver.
was like Yeah, this was like 2 or 3 years ago. I made a box up for you, and then you decided you didn't want to do it, and so I just never unpacked the box. And
I
I
didn't
found
want
it.
all the lady products, like all these things for ladies and their
They
face.
Yeah.
And
were they were can
I'm
light
teasing. I'm
covers, and
teasing. I'm teasing, guys.
yeah,
She wasn't
it was
sending me that.
building material stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
He-Man,
So
hammer,
Ah.
screwdriver. Uh, can't think of another tool. Pliers. Anyway,
I
yeah,
like what Norm said here too, because it's true. Some people, you want to put it up, Peter? The first thing Norm put up, I think, is the next. Yeah, I love that right there.
some people just
Yeah.
don't like being photographed.
Mm-hmm.
You have to respect these bimbos. Try a soft tar filter to smooth the wrinkles and use soft light.
Yep.
I like the
Yeah, I
first
think that's the
part. I
thing
like the
too.
first part because some people don't
Yeah.
like being photographed.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Me too. Yeah.
Uh, that my family is heavy on that. We have an extra strong dosage of me raising the camera and people going,
Uh-huh.
"Don't take my picture." You know.
Oh, really?
Oh my
Really?
God!
Okay.
It's like, you know, and I
Okay.
hate to say it, but that's a self-centered attitude. Okay, because my mother always used to say, "You're gonna miss me when I'm gone." Okay, and then if there was
Yeah.
a picture of her, if let's say I took 40 pictures, and in those days we would go to Eckerd Drugs, which is not in existence, Walgreens. Okay,
Right.
today
right.
Right.
get them developed,
Right.
and you get your pictures back. Well, if
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
accidentally left them on the counter, any pictures with my mother in there happened to have disappeared. Okay,
Mm.
so I know there was pictures in there of my mother, but then when I look through my where there's no pictures of my mother in here,
Mm.
and it is my mother, so I took pictures of her. I'm not gonna not take
Right.
pictures.
Right.
And then I'd find them ripped up and in the garbage. There's the pictures you
Mm.
just paid for, you just took, and they're in the garbage, and it was my choice because it's my face on that picture. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a self-centered attitude. I know I'm being strong on that point, okay? But it's like, why don't you want pictures of yourself? I
Mm.
can't think of very many good reasons other
See, I
than
think it's more than self-centered. It's an insecurity.
maybe
Yeah,
that
that's it.
together,
Uh-huh.
okay?
Yeah. I think it really is. It's insecurity. I don't like the way I look in pictures. Or it's embarrassment, or it's whatever,
Right.
and there was actually a couple of people, last weekend when I went to shoot up one of my wife's events. There was always a couple of people there that, a couple of Japanese teachers, senseis, who just they don't like it. You can tell they just really
Mhm.
don't like it. They give you the eye, the kind of the bitty
Right.
face.
I think
You
Sly
know.
is more right. I think there's
Mhm.
a stronger insecurity
Yeah, there
uh,
is.
than there
There is.
is a whatever I said. I even forgot what I said already, but I remember what Sly said. Okay, so I think there is
Yep.
an insecurity,
Hmm.
and they're going to fix it.
Yeah.
They're going to get rid
Yeah.
of the picture.
If we're not comfortable with ourselves, it's very likely that we're not going to be comfortable in front of a camera or getting our
Hmm.
picture taken. Right.
Right.
I think that. Yep.
It's like a
But Peter,
depriving person. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
but with
Yeah.
that lens you have, you could take pictures of people half a mile away.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but
That's beautiful, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm not looking to violate people. I mean, don't get the impression I'm looking to violate them. Okay, I'm not. Uh, but that is true. You can get pictures a half a mile away, and they'd have no clue.
Right.
Uh, what was the name of the guy I introduced 2 weeks ago? I subscribed to him, and he still pops up with amazing pictures that he takes right on the street, and he hands him the print, and it
Oh,
breaks
yeah, yeah, yeah.
every person into a
Yeah.
smile. It crushes that wall between us.
Yeah.
Like if you
And
walk
there
up
and
to a cop,
yeah.
he's going to have that position of authority. I'm the
Right.
cop, you're the layperson. But you hand that cop a picture, all of a sudden you get a Carlos smile that's worth $1,000,000, okay?
Mhm.
And they thank you and they shake your hand. And I just like watching that guy's shorts, okay? They're
So
very short pictures.
Is he using a Polaroid? How is he printing them out instantly?
That's why I asked you guys, and
Well,
you
the
told
guy
me.
that I watched doing that, he's not printing anything out. He's just showing them on the back of the camera.
Oh,
Okay. And then you follow them, and then they follow them on Instagram.
It's either the
The
print
guy,
photographer or printographer, one of the two. Print
okay, so you're
photographer,
watching a different guy because there's a few people who are doing that, right?
and
So
he's
you
got the
listen,
number 1 after the name. So let's say it's print photographer
yeah,
1,
okay,
and he
yeah,
specializes in Czechoslovakian police officers. So he's not even in this country. Okay, and there's no
okay, yeah. The guy I
talking.
watch is
It's
here.
only music in the background.
Okay, yeah. So those, I think you're saying those are shorts, or is he
Yeah,
doing
they are
shorts?
only. I don't think he's got a long video in there.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
Did you find him? Look up
I'm
print
gonna tell you.
photographer 1, and then not
No, I found him. I found him. I've
the,
seen his stuff, but I watch a guy who does long form videos and does that, and he's here in the States,
hmm.
and he's incredible because he'll even do live uh he'll even do live sessions where he shows you, here's what happened behind the scenes when I talked to this
Oh,
person,
that would be interesting. Yeah.
and it's really interesting. Then he shares a little bit about how he edited it, his
What's his
editing
name?
process.
What's the guy's
I'm gonna
name?
find him. It's a
Oh,
weird name. That's what I'm gonna
oh,
find
I
him right
thought
now.
you looked him up. Okay, not a problem. You could
But
don't
it's
put it
so
in the
cool.
chat. Put it in the comments
Okay,
after we're done, because the chat
okay,
disappears. Doesn't come back for
got it.
days. You
Okay.
know.
Yeah. And I love that because he says every time I do this, I'm extremely nervous. He says I'm always nervous to do this.
Yes.
I don't know how they're going to react. I don't, because he talks to them for a moment. Hey, I was wondering if you'd like to let me do this, and he stays a good distance away when he asks this person, because
Right.
they are typically attractive gals, typically. Okay.
Right. Right.
Not, he's not sexualizing it, so it's not weird. It's just,
Mhm.
he can see something that, and what's so fascinating, and this is why I'm going to find it before we finish right here. I'll put it in the description later, Peter,
Okay.
is
Thanks.
that he's touching on what you just said. He'll find somebody, and I would say 50% of the time, he asks this real attractive person, gal, if he can shoot her picture, and he says, "Look, if let me just show you a couple of things that I do. Here's my Instagram. I just want to show you this so that you'll know I'm legit, right?" And
Right.
she'll say, "Okay, okay," and then he'll say, "So," and then she'll go, I'm not really good at this. I really don't look good in pictures. And he has to kind of talk them in and say, "Hey, look, you have no idea, like, let me take some pictures and show you," because they don't want to. They already insecure,
Yeah.
Right.
fearful. They don't want him to take their picture. And you can see 50% of those girls that he wants to take a picture of don't want it. They
Yeah.
don't
Right.
want it. They're embarrassed. They're insecure. And it's so cool to see when he's able to get them to commit, and he takes these pictures, and they're phenomenal, right?
Right.
I love that. I really love that. I think that's awesome. But it's just to prove your point, though. Again, like, it's insecurity. Why would
Mm-hmm.
somebody who looks like this not want, to get her picture taken?
It's not
Right.
rational.
Right.
The rationality is not
right,
there.
right.
But remember,
Yeah.
everything we're talking about, the insecurity, the non-rationality, and all, is all
Yep.
based on that one piece of equipment that we call a camera in some form.
Yep.
It could be an iPhone. It could be a big
That's right.
blown out camera,
That's right.
So
Well,
that's
people don't think anything about if you go walking down the street and you've got a phone right here, it could be on record on the other
That's
side.
right. Yeah.
People don't know, and not one person is intimidated by this.
That's right.
But you pull out your camera,
Yeah.
and then the walls instantly go up.
Oh,
That's so
absolutely.
true. That's so
Scotty,
true.
shields up, shields up. Full power to the shields.
That's
Todd
right.
just came in.
That's a really good point. It's very intimidating, isn't it? It's very intimidating. It can be.
It can be, yeah.
It can be.
And I wonder though if that doesn't stem from, because my kids have had a camera in their face since birth. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So okay.
And so neither of them shies away from the camera. It's just,
Ah,
but I wonder after seeing the next generation starting school and getting his school pictures taken,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much of that fear and intimidation comes from those school photographers. That from a
Oh,
very young age, they stick a camera in these children's face, you
yeah.
know, and it's not probably the most
Or how about baby photographers that come to the house and take
Okay.
pictures of the babies and stuff, you know?
Wow, I never thought of that.
Yeah. I don't
so
agree
what
with that because I used to do babies all the time. Okay.
well, but
And
Okay.
babies don't retain their memory.
yeah, but
So
I have a more important feature to add there. A lot of stupid photographers will use flash, which is not a good idea with babies.
Oh, okay.
Even Haas's
Okay.
age, at 5 years old,
right,
not a good
Okay.
idea to use flash. It should be
right,
natural lighting, and that's where you have to have a command of the lighting, where it's coming from, where it's going to,
Okay.
and your lenses.
right.
You know,
Okay.
so
That
all of
makes
that.
sense.
But I just wonder how many kids have never seen a camera before.
Mm-hmm.
They herd them through like cattle, sit on this stool.
Big soft
We're
boxes,
gonna
a
take
camera on
your
a
right,
tripod, you know. And
right.
I'm
And
going to
so,
take your picture. I am the evil photographer from your future, you know.
but they do it twice a year now, spring and summer. There's,
Why? Oh, more sales.
fall
That's why. Never
fall
mind.
and spring, I guess.
It's called Follow
And
the Money.
yeah, exactly. But so if you aren't living in a family like mine or yours or Carlos's, where cameras are not an everyday thing,
Yep.
I could see how this could be intimidating.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that may plant a deep seed to where later in life they're still intimidated by cameras because of the school pictures
Well,
back in 1969.
that speaks a lot
Yeah.
for Polaroid because with Polaroid, you get instant gratification. You take a
Yes.
picture of a kid that's scared to death, and then he's able to see a print of it, and he
Right.
bursts out or breaks out into a smile on his face. You just turn a negative into a positive. But
Right.
most cameras are not Polaroids. You don't get satisfaction until a long way down the road, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. 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 That's very true.
okay,
It's
so
so funny.
Evelyn is
Yeah.
complaining to you again, Sly.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she is. This is for you. You see, it says at the beginning, Sly. Talk to people on the chat. Ha ha ha.
Okay.
I don't even get to see the chat because I'm in the green room.
Yes.
So I don't even get to see the chat. So this
Why
is
are you in
all
the
on
what?
you, Peter.
Wait a minute.
What?
What do you mean? Why are you in the green room? Why are you in
Well,
the
I
green room?
mean,
Oh, you're in the green room too.
yeah.
Well, not in the green
Oh,
room.
well,
You're
wait a
in
minute.
that.
No, but
Okay. So Carlos, are you watching the show on another device?
I'm not
no, so
sure, but I think you can see the chat on the right side of your screen.
you
There's a
can. You
button
can see the
there.
chat on the right side. Yep, I see
Yeah,
the
I
chat.
don't remember. I'm not in that window, so I don't remember how. If you could tell her how to pull that up, Carlos, because
Oh, is it the?
You
Is
see
it
it?
the
You see it,
Sony?
Sly?
Let's see. Maybe.
The problem
Aha!
is there we go.
Yes. Okay. Now I got it.
okay, there you go. Thanks,
The
Evelyn. You
problem is
straightened us
is
all
that we
out
can't.
right there.
The problem is we can't comment though in the chat from here. I wish we could.
Right.
You
I wish we
can't.
could do that. No,
You can't type in the
we can
chat in
see
that
it.
window,
We
but
can
you can
see it,
see
but
it.
we can't. The only thing we can do is guest chat, so we can chat together between the three of
Okay.
us, but we can't chat in the comments that's coming from YouTube. You know,
Evelyn
to.
is saying not to Sly. It was
See?
to
Oh,
Sly.
See? I
I'm
told
sure.
you.
I'm
I told
sure.
you.
No. I'm sure she was saying it for you. Not a
Yeah.
problem.
We're on the same wavelength, Miss Evelyn.
Wait a minute. Who's the one that sings to Evelyn around here? Okay, so it couldn't possibly be aimed at me. Evelyn loves me. She loves me. Loves me. Evelyn, we're just having a good time. If it's relax, have another cup of what are you drinking over there, Evelyn? Hot chocolate. Over here, it's hot chocolate. Okay. And let me ask you, Evelyn, does it feel like a good time when you're in here? That's the purpose of the show. My show, Sly's show. Not so much Carlos's show. He doesn't want you to have a good time when you're over there. But you know
I
what
I understand.
we didn't do? We didn't give Carlos due recognition. Carlos actually
What?
has. Yeah, we
What?
didn't tell him you have a site, what the name of it is, so they can go and
Oh.
look up these videos that you've been making
Oh.
on
Yeah.
this is basically a Carlos topic. The feelings in the camera, putting it together.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a Carlos thing. He's the one that makes that connection. So it's
Do you have a website, Carlos?
Yeah. Bokehbushido.com. Mm-hmm.
but you also have a YouTube. Can you type it in? Will it
Yep.
let you or it won't? Where's Randy when
I
you
think.
need him?
He
Yeah,
can't
where's?
type from here.
Yeah,
You
I
can't.
can't type from. Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
you
type from
can't
here.
type from there. Okay.
By the way, I gotta share something really cool. So if you go to my website and maybe I'll if you go to my website and you sign up for my newsletter on my website, it's I only send out one thing a month. I don't throw out anything more. I hate to bother people. I don't like to be bothered, so I send out one newsletter a month. And that's been really cool because I'm getting a lot of people going over there and doing that.
can you bring up your website? I can make you full
Uh,
screen. Do you know how?
nah, nah,
Nah.
nah,
Okay. All right. Never
nah.
mind.
But one of the people, one of my subscribers, she emailed me to my website, and she shared with me this is amazing. This is what's such an honor. She took one of my videos and she create an incredible creative journal out of it. And it was a video that I did called Return to Wonder.
Mm.
And she broke it down and she told me everything that she told me her whole process in creating this this amazing creative journal. I mean, and I'm seriously, when you watch this video, so what I did was this. I asked her, could I show your creative journal? Can I use your name? I'd like to make this video about you. And she said, totally. So I made a video just for her. Julia is her name. And it was all about her creative journal and because it was mind blowing to me how creative she was and all of the things that she put together. So I read her email at the beginning of the video because I wanted people to hear it straight from her, how she created this thing. She cut stuff out of Coke bottles. She put different kind of bumwad together. She used all different kinds of stuff to put this thing together, and it was inspiring to me. It was really inspiring. So I think I dropped that earlier in the week, and
Mm.
what was so cool about it is how excited she was, because what happened? Everybody started piling up on Julia. Everybody was just like, Julia, you're amazing. And the comment section, I pinned her comment. I pinned her comment so that she would just get all the comments coming in. And people just loved her and what she did. And she's an older gal. She's up there with you and us and all of us. And it was just a real honor. She really felt like she was so blessed by it. And in fact, she emailed me a couple of days ago and said, I'm still getting over it.
So you made an
That's
impact.
cool. That's cool.
Oh, it was so cool of her to share her process with me and her art with me. I mean, that was an honor. Somebody sharing that with you is really vulnerable, right? Something that
Yeah.
Right.
but I'm like, hey, if it was inspiring for me, it's going to be inspiring for other people too. So and she was so cool. She's like, yeah, definitely go ahead and show that. I don't know. I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was a different thing. I never thought about doing something like that before.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really cool. I think sometimes, Peter, when you would do some of the pictures, remember when you do that sometimes, that was really fun,
Mm-hmm.
Right. We haven't done that in a
And
couple of years.
yeah, it's been a little while. It's been a little
Pictures?
while.
We
Yeah.
did them just a little while ago, a couple of months.
Where
No.
Did you?
no,
I
where
think it's
people
been a little
send in
bit.
pictures. It hasn't
Mhm.
been a couple of months. It's been couple of
It,
years, Peter.
it didn't catch on.
It didn't catch on. Carlos, who helped you with this website?
Me.
You did
Just,
all this.
yep.
Oh, you made it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
You and I might have to talk, my brother.
When I launched Bokeh Bushido, I launched it with just a whole bunch of 6 months of work and preparation. So everything was kind of ready and prepared. And the website was really important because I wanted people to go there. I wanted to start gathering people there. And so
Mhm.
I needed to make sure that the website was worthy of people going there. You know, it
Right,
it
Yeah.
right.
couldn't be a silly little site. It had to be something.
Okay, I found it.
So
So here's the link
mm,
to the website,
Mhm.
cool.
which is different from the YouTube. So I put at Bokeh Bashudo. That'll
Mhm.
get you to his YouTube channel. Okay.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
I put up bokehprosciutto.com. That'll get you to his website, which is a different
Mm.
spot, not the same
Which
spot.
is
Okay.
very impressive.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you, Sly.
yeah.
Yeah. So, you
It's
can see that.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah. The, the, um, the other part that I think is really interesting is in the downloads, where I wish I could do it every video. I think I might end up trying to do that at some point because I have so many of these worksheets already created.
Hmm.
But wow, it's amazing how many people will, if you attach a worksheet to your video,
Mhm.
they'll go to your website and download it. I mean, it's such a value add, I think, to a video. I didn't realize how much of a value that would add, but I think it really does.
Does it really? Okay.
Yeah. When you say, look, because people will respond to me, they'll email me and said that worksheet just totally took it to another level. I'm so glad I was able to get that. Um, surprised there aren't more people doing that. I'm surprised because it
I
seems to
never
me
thought
like,
of doing it. I don't know what I
yeah,
would put on a worksheet, but it's interesting to think about it.
yeah, it seems to me like maybe it would, if you want to create, content behind, behind a paywall, I could see that. But I almost think that you could still provide the free worksheet,
Mhm.
and still do, paywall stuff. But I think the reason is it is time consuming to create something like
Oh,
that, right? But I have so many of them because I've created so many millions of them for my clients. So it's easy because
Right.
I just take something
You've
and I
already
tweak
have.
it a little bit. Yeah, and it's already done. So that's been really fun. But I was just blown away by how much people get so much out of being honored, and uh,
because
that's
there's
really
not,
cool.
after your parents are gone, if you had good parents, there's not a lot of people here to honor you unless you actually make some monumental achievements. And even some of those achievements, like if they're in politics, half the people are there to knock you down,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
other half are there to tell you how wonderful you are. But there's not a lot of people to honor you or to make you affirm you or to make you feel good about yourself or that you matter. You know, like that's why I wrote this down. Even this matters. It's a
Mhm.
very nice T-shirt because a saying for a T-shirt, I should say, because it's it's saying a secret thing that you want to say in your heart, but you don't because you're shy or you're not egotistical. Basically, it's like I matter. You know,
Yeah,
I
But
want
yeah.
to matter. You know,
but
Right.
Carlos's T-shirts all have a cool little design.
hmm.
Mm.
In addition to saying Boca Bushido, they all have a cool design on them. So you're gonna have to figure out a really cool design, Peter, to go with your saying.
You think so? I wasn't going to put any design on it at all.
Okay.
But you
I
you
think it.
have some you have some imaging, don't you, Peter, for your website, I think, or something, don't you? Thought
I
you did.
think I think I do. Sly
Mhm.
has the most, is that I know. She's got that beautiful
Pale
fox image, and
pale Here it is. It's Pale Blue Wave. That's the guy that I watch. Pale Blue Wave. He
pale blue
he
wave.
yeah. I mean,
That
it's
does the
ridiculous.
pictures?
Yeah, he takes the pictures of people on the street, and uh, yeah, it's really cool what he does. And he doesn't do them every day because it actually takes a lot of work to, like, he's done the whole behind the scenes. He's published a couple of videos where it's just behind the scenes, and it's really messy
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
because it's not the finished product. And so he's asking her, would you mind doing this, or would you mind doing that? Or he's like, I can tell when they start getting tired, so when they do that, I'm like, okay, just one more, whatever. And it's just really interesting to see how much goes into actually taking the shots. It's not easy, right? It's not easy just to.
Right.
And then sometimes he takes pictures of people that he's like, oh, you've done this before, because they're already
Oh,
posing.
yeah.
They're
Right,
posing and they're
right.
doing all this stuff, and so he's like, okay, do whatever you want. I'll just take the shots. But there are some people who. There's
Well,
one gal
there
he
is.
did.
Go ahead.
There's one gal he took a picture of her. The title of the video is "She Gave Me 5 Minutes." That's one of the videos he took, and the thumbnail is an up close, really up close picture of her, and her eyes are just stunning. They're
Mhm.
just stunning. She looks like a painting. She looks
I
like a.
I got the lens for that.
Yeah, you do. You do. You're right.
Watch this. It goes all the way out to 350,
Why,
which is
Sly?
like
Why?
It's a
Why?
guy thing. It's a guy thing.
Why?
why
Yeah.
like farting. It's a guy thing.
But I did that with my daughter, who has her whole life has fought acne, and she has the most beautiful blue eyes. And so I took just a shot of her eyes,
Yeah.
and it was just amazing. I mean, they almost look like
Wow.
water, you know.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a
Piercing.
Eyes are
few,
They call that piercing.
beautiful.
right?
Beautiful. Man, and that's like incredibly powerful for a photographer, I guess, right, Peter? I mean, the eyes, right? The
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, when I take a picture, I'm not focusing on the picture part, but when I process it, uh, there's an automatic process that I go through if it's a person that I'm focusing on. In Lightroom, I will take, if it's exposed properly, and I will underexpose it by almost 2 stops. So now the picture looks
Okay.
dark.
Okay.
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 Then I will add a layer, and with a brush, I will paint in what my focus was, why I took the picture. And it usually is the face, the eyes, the hair, a little bit on the neck. Remember, light is, it's nice to have it more on one side than the other. Uh, and then I combine the 2 layers, and it looks like, did you have a softbox with you? What was that about?
Wow, Peter, that is so cool, man.
And any picture that I'm proud of or I want to put out front is always processed with what's the reason for this shot existing. Okay. So I don't think I can do it here. I'll give it a try.
It's so
Um,
neat. I love when you talk about that stuff, your process like that. That's
do you
amazing.
really?
Yeah, because those are steps that most of us don't know how to. I don't know if you know, Sly, but that's not all. I think stuff a lot of us know how to do in Lightroom. And it's
No,
probably very basic and easy for you.
99.999 don't know how to do that.
Yeah,
I'm not
but
saying
you're
that
right. What it
as
does though is
egotistically as it on sound, but
no, I don't. That's pretty cool though, because like you said, it looks like it's softboxed. It's so cool. That's so neat, man.
hmm
Wow.
okay. So now I got a picture on my desktop,
Okay.
and I'm going to try to find it. I don't know where it went.
Scott is wishing everybody a happy Mother's Day. And
Yes.
I, for one, have to get up early in the morning. We are going to a Renaissance fair tomorrow. So,
Really?
it's out of town, and we go every year. And the kids, for some reason, my kids who are grown people love to dress up. So
Okay.
we will be, I don't dress up so much. And tomorrow I'm going to have my arms covered because I got pretty sunburned. But I'm going to wish you guys a happy have a great weekend, and I'll see
Hey,
everybody
Sly.
Tuesday. But I'm
You
gonna
got it.
go hit the hay. So, Peter,
Okay. Good night, Sly. Thank you for coming
good
in.
Happy
night.
Mother's Day, Sly.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank
Wait,
you.
wait, wait, wait. Happy birthday to you.
That's right, and happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear Sly.
Sly.
Happy birthday to you. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. And Lewis's is the 14th, so his is right after mine.
Oh,
Right.
happy birthday to Lewis. Happy birthday
Bye,
to
Sly.
Lewis.
Good
Happy
night.
birthday, dear Lewis. Happy birthday to you. Okay, now, if I'm correct, there should be a bird picture on the screen. Okay.
That's a peacock, correct? Peacock.
Peacock, I believe. Yes, I think
Yep.
Lewis is the one that told me that. Okay.
Yep.
The first thing that I did is I dropped down by 2 stops. Usually it's 1 3/4. Okay, but I'm rounding it
Okay.
up. Okay.
Okay.
Then I painted the bird's body back in on a separate layer and increased it by 2 stops. Whatever I brought the whole thing down, okay, I added to a separate layer. Then I combined them, and when you look at this picture, you have no idea that the focus is on the bird, but with the lighting, I brought the focus to be on the bird. Now, if you see
Right.
this
Right.
original picture, you'd have a hard time finding the bird because it's green, the plants are green, its body is gray, the floor is gray, and it looks like a snapshot. So I took a snapshot, and by selective processing, I made the bird stand out without making it obvious to your eyes.
Wow.
And
That's cool.
that is the process. So if you wanted to do that, Carlos, take a picture. Do you have Lightroom?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Do you know how to add a layer?
Well, yeah, but you know what I would like? I would like for you to consider next week doing it for us.
Doing it live? Okay, I could try.
Yep.
Okay,
I think that would be
let me
incredible.
get out of here.
I think it might even be good for you to, you know, post that maybe a day or 2 before or something and let us know, because I think a lot of us would like to see you do that. I think a lot of us would like to know how to do it. Okay.
Okay, not a problem.
I think that's awesome, Peter. Yeah, for sure, man.
See,
I mean,
to
I
me,
gotta
it's
check.
boring, and that's why I don't do stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know.
think, not for us. I don't think that's at all. I think we're really interested in that. So,
So when I started when you guys
yep.
started to come in, it was
Yep.
like 10:20, and
Mhm.
now it's almost midnight. It's
I know. I was gonna say,
11:54.
I just realized I gotta run too. I'm sure you do. I gotta run as well.
Yeah, I got up
But
real
yeah,
early
time goes
today.
by. Time flies by, huh, Peter? It just
Yeah,
goes by, man.
we're good for each other.
Yep.
We enjoy
Yep.
each other's company, and I hope that
Yep.
shows. That's the purpose, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry Hal
Yeah.
wasn't able to come in tonight, but he might be
Right.
watching while he's laying down in bed.
Yep.
And Randy, I
Where's
don't know
Randy at?
what's up with Randy.
Okay.
Randy hurt his back, so
Oh,
he might be
no.
spending a little
Okay.
more time. He picked up the lawnmower out of the box and out of the
Oof.
car, out of the
Okay.
box, and he
Okay.
pulled his back. Oh, and he did
Oh, man.
a full day today of they had like a
Oh,
fun thing with the models or something
yeah,
somewhere.
that's right. I remember him saying that. Right.
He fell in the water, by the way. So
Oh, no.
not the
Oh,
camera.
no.
He held the camera
Okay.
way up high, but he went into the water. So
Okay. Okay. So he's probably sore. He's probably
yeah.
hurting.
Maybe
Yeah.
if I get a picture from him, I could process one of those because it's some
Yeah,
ladies that
let's do
came.
that.
Yeah, you know.
Let's do that. I'll
And
send you one as well. I'll send you
yeah,
one of
that'd be
mine as
fine.
well,
Yeah, that'd be great.
you know, because it's one thing commenting on the photo. It's another thing tweaking the photo like you, like doing the layers and all that. That would be really cool. So I think we'd all get a big kick out of that, you know.
Okay,
Right on,
sounds good.
Peter. All right, brother.
So you want to close the show out for me?
No, I think you should.
Oh, you think
I'm
I
gonna
should?
exit while
You're just
while you
gonna hit
close
that
it out.
X. He's gonna. Okay. Thank you for being here, Carlos. I love you. Say hi to Meg for
Love you,
me.
Peter.
a special
Okay, buddy.
big hi to Meg. Okay.
Absolutely. Bye,
All
Meg.
righty. And here we are, guys. We are alone again, naturally. Okay, so that's our show. It was a little longer than I expected. It's supposed to be from 10 to 11. But when you get good people together, we have a good time. And I have an open door policy because I can control it. If you're wondering, like, well, Peter, if you open it, bad people come in. Now, I can control who I put up on the screen. And the software that I'm using to do this is Ecamm, EcammLive or whatever it's called. I have a link in the description. If you use my link, they give me a few bucks. Yeah, a few dollars. It's not going to pay the rent or anything, but if you want to try it out, use my link, and then if you get it later, they'll give me the credit. But I encourage you to try it out because it makes this magic happen. Okay. Yes, I do, Scott. You came in late. I got up early and got poked everywhere this morning by my doctor at my physical. He said I'm going to live. Okay. And if he's wrong, just send me flowers. That's all. All right. I love all you guys. God willing, and the bridge isn't up. We'll be here next Friday. And remember, my goal is the sky and not the grave. All right. Good night. Bye-bye.